It's not only about the bragging rights, it's about representation, prowess, flexibility, and adequate information for a solution-focused initiative. We crowned a champion in the third edition of the Speak and Solve initiative, SASI. It was a tough challenge, but an ultimate winner emerged. Taking the trophy, which has been in the custody of the Harare Institute of Technology, the Lupane State University held the cup for the first time, marking themselves as the team to beat in the fourth edition of the SASI debate. They fought a good fight. Will they follow in the footsteps of their predecessors and be the winners this year? Do they have what it takes to take it home yet again?
Good day, viewers, listeners, and participants of the 2021 National Universities Debate Competition. The Ministry of Higher and Tertiary Education, Innovation, Science and Technology Development is proud to see students debating at such a high level, showcasing to the world what they know and how they want it to transform the world for the better. Debating is one of the key skills that the ministry promotes among students, as it helps them to gain the clarity and confidence needed in confronting the challenges of life as and when they come. As you can note, the ministry's work and mandate is broad, and as such requires the ministry to work with and through different partners in addressing the needs of students and staff. Say What is one of those partners that has been complementing the work of the ministry through its immense contribution towards the promotion of students' sexual reproductive health, wellness, and life skills development. Through the work of Say What, the ministry has been able to appreciate better the health and wellness related needs of students, and this has helped in the crafting and implementation of more responsive policies for the tertiary education sector. The organization is especially playing a crucial role in addressing sexual harassment issues in tertiary institutions, and their input is being very helpful and will help in the development of the first sexual harassment policy for tertiary institutions in Zimbabwe. Of late, Say What has also come on board in responding to the COVID-19 pandemic in tertiary institutions through donation of COVID-19 PPE and related medication in most of the affected colleges. We are a listening and learning ministry, eager to tap into the ideas and arguments put forward by our students across all our institutions of learning. Our goal is to ensure that institutions of higher learning remain incubators of new ideas and innovations, which will definitely take our country to another level. We always say universities are marketplaces of ideas. To all the 2021 debaters, I challenge you to utilize this precious opportunity to show the world what you are made of. This is your chance to speak your mind and shape tomorrow, that we have the tomorrow that we desire. I wish you all the best in this competition, and may the best win. I thank you.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Blessings Mubi. I'm from Gwanda State University.
Hi everyone, my name is Tadiwa Daka. I'm from Gwanda State University.
I feel pretty confident about my team because I know we not only are we debaters, but we're also involved in these issues. So we know that these things that affect us, they will help us contribute or understand what the debate could be really about.
I really feel confident about this team because I think that definitely this time we are in it to win it. Because definitely we are not there to lose and we are not there to waste our time. We are there to make a mark and we are there to leave a signature and a standing out there. Yeah. This time around from Gwanda State University, I think you should expect us definitely to win. Not only win, I think we are also going to be showing you that it's not being an engineer doesn't define you as someone who is not socially adapted, someone who doesn't know how socialization is like out there in the world. So definitely we are going to be impacting lives and we are going to raise awareness of certain issues that are going to be discussed in that debate, and definitely we can show you that debaters and engineers can actually also contribute to society and how the society is supposed to be built up.
Debates are not only theoretical, but we want to show people that we can put those things into practice, the things that we debate about. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't help if we're only debating and talking about these issues, but no one is listening to us. We need to show them that yes, this is it. Well, I think first of all, it's because it's a new baby university. It makes it unique, and maybe the programs that we're also doing here, they're like the breadwinner of Zimbabwe currently.
How each and every individual that is in that university does not only do metallurgical engineering or mining engineering, but they actually do the engineering of social life, the engineering of politics, the engineering of each and everything that you can ever think of. So I think right now you should actually give us titles of universal engineers. Just like how we are going to engineer the trophy for Gwanda State University as a win.
Gwanda State University.
Esprit de Corps.
Unity as one.
Hi guys, my name is Sutaichi Wise. I'm from Lupane State University.
Hi guys, my name is Joachim Yoni, studying with Lupane State University.
Well, personally I'm very comfortable. I think he's the best partner that I could have. And as far as coordination is concerned and everything is perfectly fine.
She's the best partner that I could ever have. So she's enthusiastic, she's positive. Everything she does is just on point. So I'm happy to be with her.
I would say yes, we're doing our best, and I first believe we can. But stuff happens anyway. But yeah, we can. We do.
As long as everything goes good, why don't we stand a chance?
Obviously. They're surprises, number one, because Jay is a pretty much different partner. He's one person that you haven't seen on your screens. Of course, maybe you've seen me before or whatsoever.
For my fellow contestants, I would love to say that this is a competition. Do your best and just take it personally.
I'm the Dean of Students at Gwanda State University. My name is Ngube. I have high hopes and high expectations of the oncoming debate tournament. Gwanda State University is a new university, and I've put up a very strong team that I am expecting that it will turn the tables upside down debate tournaments. They expose our students to quite a number of cultural issues that actually help them to grow outside the classroom. When they come back, they become an asset to the university because they have a lot of programs and a lot of educational talks that they actually give to other students. And I've personally witnessed some kind of behavior change. So it is a very good learning platform. It's like in Ndebele, where we would have uncles and grandfathers, they're actually talking. And these young people come and actually complement the activities that are done by the officers in the division. I'm saying to the team, we have selected you with all the confidence, and just go for it. Don't be intimidated. You are all students, regardless of where you are coming from. We are all equal students. It only takes you how you present yourself, and you can make it. So as students from the engineering department or faculties, you can eloquently argue and actually bring forth the views that are socially related and link them up with activities that are around the corner.
So we've sadly had to say goodbye to Bindura University of Science Education and the Great Zimbabwe University. But you know what? The competition must go on. This means that we have 8 universities left to battle it out for that title of ultimate debater. Now, of course, remember that we want your involvement. I know if your team has gone home, you're a bit disappointed, but that's no need to fret. There's still more universities you can support even if you don't attend them. So make sure that you're letting us know what your thoughts are in the comments section. The hashtags we're using today are hashtag SASI for Hope and hashtag SASI Debate 2021. Make sure your comments, your thoughts, even your debate points, if you want to be involved in this, if you're feeling that invested, drop your debate points in those comment sections and we will be following them. Now, of course, today has been made possible with support from our friends at the Embassy of Sweden in Zimbabwe, the UNFPA, SAHI, National AIDS Council, and Econet. Now, we're ready for round 2. Teams, are you ready for round 2? It's getting tougher. It's getting tougher. All right. So to this motion now that we are getting into, this is kicking off the second round of elimination. Let's see who goes up against who. We're starting off with Lupane going up against Gwanda. And the motion is, this house would prosecute, oh no, that's not it. This house regrets the criminalization of the reckless transmission of sexual infections, e.g. HIV, herpes, and gonorrhea. Those are your examples. So I'm going to read it again. This house regrets the criminalization of the reckless transmission of sexual infections, e.g. HIV, herpes, and gonorrhea. Now, I'm going to remind you of the technicalities of how we're going to work because our time has gone down. The look on their faces is priceless. The time has gone down. All right, so affirmative, your opening speech is now 3 minutes. Right, you've lost a whole minute from the previous round. Opposers, your cross-examination will now be 1 minute. Okay? Tighter arguments. Then opposers, your opening speech will also be 3 minutes. Affirmative, your cross-examination will also be 1 minute. After that, we go into the rebuttal stage. Both teams will get 3 minutes to give us their rebuttals, starting, of course, with the opposers. Then we have our closing remarks. That's 2 minutes, also starting with the opposers. Are we clear on how we're moving? Are we clear on our times? All right, so Team Affirmative, are you ready to start your opening remarks? Your clock starts now.
So we have already established that we are regretting the policy that we have. The question is, to what extent are we regretting? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are regretting to a greater extent. To the extent that the minister, the Honorable Minister Ziyambe announced that in 2019 we are repealing this law, which means it's useless, it's not working. He also said, and I quote, "It's simple, not serving the intended purpose." So this establishes that it is very useless. So now we're going to give you the reasons as to why we're saying this is a very useless policy. So first of all, there are so many loopholes. The loopholes such as it is overly broad. It cannot account for the reduced viral load for people with reduced viral load and those who are on window period. Also, why is the burden placed on one person? Because sexual intercourse is a consensual thing. It's not a burden of one person, right? It's not rape, ladies and gentlemen. So then studies has also proven that applying criminal law does not reduce the spread. In fact, it deters people from testing, which is exactly what we're trying to fight against. We want people to test, we want people to know their statuses, but this law is deterring people from testing, which is very problematic to the society. And then also the law is very retrogressive. It's taking us back to where we came from. It is perpetuating stigma. Stigma is one thing that we do not need. We need to live peacefully and we need to accept the people that have HIV and STIs
as a part of us, there's so many anomalies in this policy, and they're just too much and unbearable. There is no procedure, ladies and gentlemen, to show who gave who what. At the end of the day, it leads to the blame game. It leads to pressing charges based on vendettas. We also do understand that we do need the eclectic approach. We do need to encompass as much solutions and as much measures as we possibly can to cater for the STIs and the transmission of HIV. But this is simply not the solution. We do regret this policy to a greater extent. It is not useful in any means. And it's also said that the effective rate of this policy is estimated at 4%. Why should we then be using something that has the estimate of 4% effective rate when we have something that is working at 98%, like condoms and other things? And so we are saying that yes, for these reasons and for these reasons that I mentioned, we really do regret this law. And we also have to understand that there's a difference between recklessness and malicious intent. And so when it comes to recklessness, it's about being careless, it's about lacking cautiousness. But then malicious is a desire to cause harm. So if only this law was meant for those who are acting maliciously with intent to harm. But when you're talking about being reckless, we're talking about being careless. So when we're talking about being careless, we're saying, why is it then the burden of one person that you are careless? Because sex is for two people. It's not only the person who has HIV or the person who has gonorrhea who is supposed to make sure that we have condoms or we're using condoms properly. No, it's both parties, ladies and gentlemen. Panel, we should all know that it is necessary to use condoms because we know that one partner has STIs. I thank you.
All right. And right on the dot. Okay. Are you ready with your cross-examination?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And your clock starts now.
Okay, before the criminalization of reckless transmission of sexual infections, HIV and STIs, can you prove to us how HIV and STIs were less prevalent?
First of all, I do not understand the relevancy of your question and how exactly it is linked to this debate. But then you do have to understand that the purpose of this debate is just clarifying that this policy is not working. Whether it, with whatever measures we had before and whatever measures we have now, the policy is not working, and therefore we regret it.
Okay, if we are regretting the criminalization, can you give us a better approach that serves both justice, makes sure that potential victims are safe, and at the same time is reducing sexual infections?
First of all, the problem is that you're talking about victims. Victims of what? This is not malicious intent, sweetheart. This is recklessness, which means that we were careless in the process that two people were involved.
All right. Opposers, are you ready with your opening remarks?
Yeah, I think I'm ready.
You think you're ready?
Okay, let me breathe. Yeah, now I'm ready.
All right, your clock starts now.
Okay, so this House regrets the criminalization of reckless transmission of sexual infections, HIV, herpes, and gonorrhea. First of all, let's talk about what reckless means. They failed to characterize to us what reckless means. Reckless means that, one, the person is being careless, and two, the person doesn't care about the consequences that are going to occur after that. So we believe that definitely we do not regret this motion because this person does not care about the consequences. This person doesn't care that he or she is going to be spreading HIV and AIDS. So what are the three key questions that are supposed to be asked in this debate? One, is criminalization effective? Two, is criminalization justified? And three, do we reduce the chances of transmission of sexual infections to even create an HIV-free generation and an HIV-free? So now let me answer this for you. The burden that we're placing on them is for them to prove beyond reasonable doubt that criminalization is totally and utterly bad for society. And they fail to do that within this first phase of debate. So, when do we regret something? We regret something when the harms outweigh the benefits. We regret something when the harms cannot be reversed. We regret something when harms still propagate. The reason why we are not regretting this is because, one, it's going to limit the reckless transmission of STDs. That means we are going to limit transmission of these STIs that are going to be there. We are going to limit the transmission of HIV and AIDS, herpes and gonorrhea. Therefore, we are going to have a safe society that is even HIV-free, and there's going to be reduction of transmission of these STIs. Why do we also not regret this? Two, we believe that people are going to deter from doing it.
Definitely, we know that by criminalization, we are placing a penalty on an individual. So people will deter from doing this because they'll be scared of going to what? Of going to prison. So what are these people going to do instead? These people, they are going to be forced or coerced to do an HIV test, to do an STI test before they're going to engage in any sexual intercourse with a person. Because they know that definitely if they don't provide their status to a person while they're having sex, we are going to condemn them and say they are reckless. We are going to penalize them and we are going to have a penalty on them. So definitely we are going to coerce everyone to actually know their status when it comes to STIs, when it comes to HIV. Therefore, we are creating a safer society. That's why definitely we do not regret this. So now, what is the comparative? If these people are going to win, we're actually going to have a world whereby anyone can sleep around without knowing their status, where anyone can sleep around transmitting HIV and AIDS because they don't know their status. And we are saying, let's not criminalize them. Definitely we should criminalize these people. So criminalization is justified because, one, it serves the purpose of justice. This person does it recklessly. This person doesn't care about the consequences that are going to be out there. So definitely this person should be penalized. Every person who is going to be guilty is supposed to be given a punishment, and definitely we should criminalize this. Two, we believe that this is morally upright. Why? In society, we know that we are supposed to do good in society. We're supposed to have a society that is reduction in STIs. So the only way we can do this is by criminalizing these people. Because in the criminalizing phase, we are actually going to coerce these people to even go for HIV testing. So my speaker will give you an extension on this. Thank you.
Done. I don't know if I'm the only one who picked up the little dance that was going. He's doing this and she's doing this, and I like that. You guys seem to be flowing very well together. Are you ready with your cross-examination, Team Affirmative? Are you ready? You're not ready?
Yeah, we are ready.
Okay, your clock starts now.
So panel, Gwanda State University, when you're saying this person, why are you referring to one person? Because sex is a consensual thing between two people.
What you have to know is that when we are giving you this model, we are talking about the stakeholders in this debate. We are talking about people that are the ones that are recklessly transmit the infection. We are talking about people that are having intercourse with that person. We are talking about the society whereby we do not curb or criminalize this, and that person goes back to society and infects other people. So definitely when we are talking about this person, it's a person who doesn't know their status and the person who is going to involve in reckless transmission.
Okay, thank you. This is null and void. We are paying attention to this is consensual and not cohesion. Right, thank you. So when you're saying limit transmission, how is it failing?
We told you about criminalization, how it's going to have a deterrence measure whereby people are actually coerced to go for an HIV test before they engage in sexual intercourse. That's why even creating a generation that is HIV-free and STI.
Statistics.
Thank you.
Time. Almost got heated there. Saved by the bell. Okay. All right. Opposers, we will have your rebuttal. Are you ready? Your clock starts now.
We are not regretting criminalization because this is justified. How is criminalization of reckless transmission of sexual infections justified? One, it serves the purpose of justice because people would transmit infections, recklessly know their statuses, but they don't care about the consequences of their actions. That is committing a crime against someone who's in the society, so anyone who victimizes an individual in the society should be punished. It's the same as a reckless driver who causes accidents and then someone dies in the process and is also punished. Why can't you do the same when it comes to HIV infections? It is morally upright to criminalize reckless transmissions of STIs, like my partner said. Morals talk about how good or how bad something is. It is a basic principle that governs human society. So criminalization is morally upright because it is good, it serves a good purpose, and it gives a good outcome. When we criminalize reckless transmission of STIs, we do a good thing in society because we keep the society safe from HIV and STI transmissions by detaining the people who are involved in this reckless behavior. We also introduce a control mechanism that allows us to stop an individual from committing the same crime again, hence curbing the spread of STIs and creating or working towards an HIV and STI-free generation. So let me give you an extension from my first speaker, Tadiwa. Argument number 3. Criminalization of reckless transmission of STIs gives victims closure. Society feels safe when such individuals are dealt with in the justice system. When we curb, deter, and punish wrongdoers, we create a safe society for the victims and potential victims. Through criminalization and when justice is served, the victim gets emotional reparation and also comfort when they know that whatever wrong was done against them has been corrected, also making possible victims safe from HIV and the STIs that we are talking about in this debate. Imagine when everyone knows how much it's a crime to transmit an STI or HIV recklessly to another individual. People will run to the nearest clinic to get tested for STIs and HIV. People will know their statuses and make sure they don't recklessly transmit these diseases, please. Also, if we look at the stakeholders' analysis in this debate, we have 1, the victims, 2, we have the perpetrators, and 3, the people who are in the society. So on which side do we create a society that is safe from both HIV and STIs? A society that also curbs and works on reducing the spread of STIs and also giving an HIV-free, HIV-victory generation. It's on the non-affirmative side. We have given you a solution to the existing problem of HIV and STI spreading, and we have answered all the questions in this debate. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Just in time. And you're whispering amongst yourselves. I bet this rebuttal is going to be really, really good. Your clock starts now.
First of all, panel, this policy did not cap anything, but proved otherwise, that the criminalizing HIV and sexual transmitted infections only deterred people from going to test. What we are saying is that owing to the developments in the medical field, people who adhere, in the case of HIV, people who adhere to their pills and who adhere to their treatment have a slim chance of passing out this disease. Why are we then criminalizing when we are saying reckless, right? And by reckless, the opposers failed to note that reckless is cautiousness. Why then are we laying the blame on 1 person when this is both the blame of 2 people? 2 people have to know their statuses before they get into consensual sex. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not talking about rape, Gwanda State University. We are talking about consensual sex between 2 people. What we are saying is that it discriminates against people living with HIV and people who have STIs. And if it discriminates, it perpetuates the stigma that we are talking about, that my partner spoke about. If we are perpetuating the stigma, we are saying that people should not go and get tested. People would rather not know their HIV statuses. Because if I'm saying that I'm HIV positive and I'm telling another person before we have consensual sex that I'm HIV positive, how sure am I that this person is not going to go around telling the whole community that I'm HIV positive? So it therefore leads to stigma. All right, and it also deters. It puts back our target of achieving the 95 goal on ending new HIV infections. The burden that we lay on the non-affirmative is why carelessness during a sexual encounter is laid on 1 person. This is both, the responsibility of 2 people. 2 people have to know their statuses. So what this policy failed to address, therefore, is that how do we then come up with how someone who had this STI first, who had HIV first? This is what this policy failed to address. Right. So what we are saying is let's not criminalize the issue of who gave who first and who gave what first. So what we are saying, therefore, is that we regret having enacted this law because it caused a lot of people to not go and get tested. And we had an increase in number of HIV cases, HIV prevalence, especially among young people. Take, for instance, in Matabeleland North, it is one of the highest prevalence rates of HIV among young people. And it is known for a fact that young people would rather not go and get tested. So if we are criminalizing this act, we are therefore supporting people so that they do not go to the nearest clinic to go and get tested. So what we are saying, therefore, is that the opposers failed to understand that this is not rape but consensual sex, and what we are saying is we cannot lay the blame on 1 person. Therefore, this law failed to address what it was meant to address. With this, we have never been happy to support.
All right, 13 seconds to go. Are you sure? All right, you have ceded 13 seconds to me. Opposers, let's have your closing remarks, your clock. And remember now, you only have 2 minutes, not 3. Your clock starts now.
Okay, so now, in conclusion of this debate, I'm going to state the major clashes. 1, the first major clash was that people are going to deter from testing, as said from the affirmative side. We told you that people are definitely not going to deter from testing, but then we are going to encourage and coerce people in a proper way to actually go for HIV testing, because they know that if they are going to indulge in sex, while at least one person doesn't know their status and infects the other, we are going to criminalize them because it's reckless. They don't care about consequences. So that major clash, we are going to win it because we actually discovered that these people are actually not going to deter from testing, but we're going to coerce them to actually go for HIV testing. The second clash was whereby their whole debate, how they were running it, on why we are blaming one person. When we're giving you a stakeholders analysis, we're telling you about the people that are going to be affected. 1, the person who's going to be victim. 2, the person who's going to be a perpetrator. And 3, the person who's going to be in society. 1, we are saying that the perpetrator is supposed to be punished because the perpetrator was reckless and didn't care about the consequences. 2, we are going to tell you that the victim on its own is supposed to be protected and supposed to be emotional reparation. 3, we are going to tell you about a person who is out there in society. That person also needs to be protected because we're supposed to have a certain deterrence measure from the same, so that the same thing doesn't happen, so that that same person doesn't go to the next person and recklessly spread HIV and AIDS. Imagine if tomorrow it's going to be you. So the reason why we are going to win this debate in conclusion, we are going to tell you that we answered the 3 major questions that they failed to answer from their side. 1, is criminalization effective? Yes, criminalization is effective because we are going to deter offenders, right? Criminalization is effective because we are going to curb the spread of HIV and AIDS. Criminalization is effective because justice is going to be served. 2, is criminalization justified? Yes, criminalization is justified because it's morally upright. It has a moral justification embedded on it, right? 3, do we reduce the chances of transmission? Yes, by keeping this, we are going to reduce the chances of transmission. With this, we are proud to oppose.
Time. All right. Affirmative, your closing remarks and your clock starts now.
So the problem that I have with you, Team Non-Affirmative, is that what you're talking of is a fantasy, what you are expecting to do. We are regretting, which means it has already happened. So what we're asking you to look at is what is already have been happening in the society, what this policy has been doing so far. So we're talking about how progressing it has been. And you have failed to address the loopholes that we stressed to you, that there are so many anomalies, ladies and gentlemen. That's why it has only 4% effective rate, which means it's very problematic. And to the extent that the government of Zimbabwe has even thought of repealing it, it means it's not useless. You can't tell us that you will make it work. If the government of Zimbabwe itself have even reached to a state of saying that this is not working, it's useless, and we're repealing, who are you to say that we are going to make it work? And you made this, the reason why you've already left this debate is because we are talking about the future hopes of what you would want to do. But then this is about what has been happening, which is why it is problematic, right? We stated all those loopholes, and you failed to at least engage one of them and tell us why you think that we shouldn't be regretting them. You did not give us the statistics of what exactly you're saying that it is working, right? If it is working, where has it worked? How effective and how efficient has it been? They did not give us any of those things. The only thing that they kept on ranting about is that, okay, oh, so yes, no, yes, so, but it is not working, and that is the point. So therefore, we have to note that and keep it in mind. Then it also comes to the fact that we also told you that when it comes to this policy, the reason of this policy is to make sure that at the end of the day, we have the eclectic approach, which is the combination of countermeasures that will make sure that at the end of the day, people are not discriminated, but we prevent the spread of HIV and STIs. So if it's not preventing the spread of STIs, but bringing back the burden that we've had before, it is not working and we don't need it. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, teams. I will remind our audience of the motion. It was this House regrets the criminalization of reckless transmission of sexual infections, e.g. HIV, herpes, and gonorrhea. You can tell the competition has heated up a notch, and there's a lot of passion to go around. We still have 4 more teams to hear from. Who do you think is taking this one to the finals? Make sure you are involved. Drop your comments in the comment section. The hashtags to use, remember, are hashtag SASI for Hope and hashtag SASI Debate 2021. When we come back, we go to the next team. Our adjudicators are not going to have an easy time this time around.
Fonera say what go center. Say what go center, mommy. Fonera say what go center. You are God indeed.
Spreading the peace, spreading the love, we're saying the gender is violence. Connecting the youth, spreading awareness, so I'm a go somewhere for life. Cross white, Taliban nani high. We're talking peace, no GBV, me the jungle for tonight. We got you covered, supporting girl, check for life. We got the L, we got the P, cause she got good NCC, that could change your lifestyle. I'm pending the compass, I'm talking about peace, connecting the youth, Mugoten, where for life. Say what, abstain or compromise. No tolerance to GBV, to Gadaru, Tabasa.
Hi guys, my name is Maya. Child abuse must come to a stop. If you have been abused, call the Say What call center number 577 if in case of abuse.